hair out of place is what I want to talk about today, and how those of us who were raised to watch our P's and Q's and draw inside the lines, how challenging it is when we have children. I mean, we just fall naturally into being a mom that primarily doesn't embarrass her kids. You know, the one that you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't swear. You're like Sandra Dee and Grace. You know, you do what you're supposed to do. But I want to talk about how it's so challenging, not just in childhood as a parent, but then moving on to after that when you're an empty nester, how challenging it is to finally to take a step out and to finally add a little bit of noise or color to our lives, or say, I'm going to do it my way. And the I Do Not Care Club, how we finally say, this is it. I'm just going to be my authentic self. As a little girl, I was raised Catholic, and my mom would send us across the street to have our hair done for our first communion pictures, and we were not allowed to touch our hair until those pictures were done. Not one hair out of place. Why? We had to be perfect. Everything had to be on the up and up. We had the white picket fence and this and that, and we even had a family station wagon. That's how white picket fence we were. And so I tell you, it was challenging to be raised to be like Rose on the Titanic. That little girl, she had to keep her hands in her lap and fold her napkin a certain way. And it's kind of how it was. And I remember even as a teen, I see people living out loud wearing rock t-shirts and listening to music they wanted and going to the local dance, and they'd do their own thing. They wouldn't even care. Well, I guess I never had that luxury because I was always kind of under a microscope. Don't get me wrong, as a teen, I rebelled a little. I wore the blue eyeshadow and heavy this and that, and yeah, I stepped out. I shaved. I went to the neighbor's house across the street, and I said, "Shave a checkerboard into the back of my hair," and they did, and it was funny, but whatever, it worked. And that's how I spread my wings as a teenager. And I think I'm not saying I was perfect, because yeah, I was a teen girl and I was boy crazy and this and that. But for the most part, if I went to my grandma and grandpa's house still, they label me a good girl for the most part. But I think, and then you have kids and you naturally just fall in line. You don't color outside the lines because you gotta represent as a mom. You don't want to be called a bad mom, that mom. So you toe the line then too. And so I just want to say it's taking a step out of that baby pool, diving into the deep end. It's tough, I'll tell you. I think for me, when I got divorced and I finally started dating, and I had to finally do my thing, and I finally started dating someone younger, and that was I was 39 and he was in his 20s. So I said that's the first time I think I stepped out of my little comfortable bubble and said I'm going to do something I want to do. And that's just the way it was. And I'm glad I did. I'm it's an experience I will never forget. And so I think those of us who have been locked in a box for way too long, it's tough. It's tough to color outside the lines. It's tough to sing a song out loud or do a little jig. If you hear a song in a grocery store and you start dancing a little, and you look around and wonder who's watching me, who's keeping an eye. So I just want to say, how do you do it? I don't know. You have to kind of put your horse blinders on and just do it. I always say the best way to start dancing anywhere is close your eyes and go out with some friends, listen to some music you like, and close your eyes and just dance, and it's fun. And just make sure you're safe. Don't drink or anything like that. Just go out and have fun. I don't know. What else can I say? That's the first way to do it, and just let it go from there. So live out loud and do your thing. That's all I've got, and I will be back.